welcome to my video. I decided to decorate a tub that I had as kind of upcycling, I guess. I did a kind of pond theme on the top with a cute little toad on the bottom. I think it came out really sweet and I'll probably keep it forever now. Hee hee. So if you want to see how I did this, watch my video. So I used this paper pot. I'd bought some hand lotion when I visited China like 7 or 8 years ago, and I still have it because I'm a bit of a hoarder, especially when it comes to, well, anything really, especially if I can reuse it or repurpose it or keep art supplies or treasure or anything inside it. So anyway, I started by doing an undercoat of purple and white. It doesn't really matter what color it is. I just wanted to make sure that there was a good base down before using the actual color I wanted. And the purple was quite nice peeking through the brown. I did a couple of coats, and once it was fully dried, I used some foam air dry clay. This is super cheap. It is meant for kids' crafts, but I really enjoy using it. It does dry pretty quickly, so I just did like 3 or 4 rocks at a time. I just kind of made little balls, textured it with a rough paintbrush, and used one of the little tools that came with it to add some dinks and dents in the rocks. Which kind of, the base didn't look too well. The foam clay is quite sticky, so I didn't stick it down with anything. It kind of just sticks itself to the cardboard, which is good. So here's me doing the other side, so you can see again, but it's pretty easy. I love any pond life, any aquatic life, frogs, fish, anything. Well, I love all animals and I love all aspects of nature, but I do just particularly love aquatic life. I even painted the roof of my kitchen to look like lily pads, so it feels like you're inside a pond when you're in the kitchen. For the underside of my pot, I wanted to paint this toad. This Crawford and Black yellow paint is one of the worst paints ever. I bought a multi-pack of acrylic paints from a shop in the UK called The Works. And I mean, it was very cheap, but yeah, I can't really complain to be honest. The black and the yellow were like painting with water. So anyway, I started painting this toad by just painting the lightest shade and blocking out the, I guess, the silhouette of the toad on the bottom. I just found this picture on Pinterest, by the way. He's looking pretty cute and comfy. And then for the details, I did black, brown, a little yellow, and I did add some purple as well. And I thought I would do this while the rocks were drying. The foam clay isn't water resistant, so when it gets wet, it kind of like puffs back up and loses the detail. So I wanted it as dry as possible, as I wanted to paint the kind of details and deeper textures and tones on the rocks with acrylic paint. So after the lighter area dried, I went in with the darker colors, clearly. Kind of painting this in a more cartoony style and trying to be methodical, but you can see that I'm not really, because I'm going from one corner to the other corner. I don't know why I do this. I'm a little bit unorganized, but it looks pretty cute in the end. And I'm just adding some highlights and details on the phalanges, the tummy. I kept going back and forth from the tummy because I kept getting bored of the texture. But I'll probably be painting and drawing some more frogs. So I'm going to Costa Rica in a couple of weeks, which I'm super duper excited about. And there's so many different types of frogs there. Whenever I go on holiday, I always bring a sketchbook and a mini paint palette with me. I have never, I guess, documented or shown anyone my art until I started this YouTube account, which was kind of scary, but yeah, it's not a big deal. I have hardly any followers. It doesn't really make me too nervous. But yeah, I'll probably be posting loads of frogs in a couple of weeks, so be warned. I really love frogs, and I'll tell you all about them when I'm showing you them. So here I'm just adding the details onto the rocks with acrylic paint. I'm just using some greens and yellows. Well, actually, yellows and blues to kind of build up the algae that could or would be growing on the rocks, and then a blacky brown for shadows, which later you'll see they were kind of covered up. But it adds depth, and obviously it's not realistic, but I wouldn't want just flat grey rocks. I think that would look a little bit boring. So, texture the rocks. I think at this point I was imagining my next layer, which you'll see soon, to be a little more translucent. So I painted on some kind of deep green swirlies in the water, kind of water dropletty ripple effect, whatever you want to call it, which didn't look amazing anyway, but it looked interesting. And the color combinations were actually really pretty. But once this was dry, I decided to put nail polish. This is UV nail polish. I did yellow, dark blue, and light blue with some clear so that I could get a marbly, watery effect. As you can see, I'm just mixing it and doing swirl patterns, spreading it around so there was still a little translucency to it. You can kind of see the base through the bottom, which I like, because when you're looking at a pond, you do see darker areas. It's not black, it's, I guess, rotting vegetation at the bottom of the pond. Okay, here's where I messed up. I was hoping to do 3 cute frogs on here, and they ended up really ugly, you'll see in a sec. And I originally made this pot so that I could keep the set of frog nails that I made in a different video in here, so that I could take them around with me and put them on to cover up my disgusting nails. I have a lot of plants and do gardening, so my nails are always dirty, and when I do videos, my fingers do always look a little bit disgusting. So I apologize for that and want to try and make my videos more aesthetically pleasing. You can see how ugly these frogs are already. I thought I'd be able to fix them, but RIP. I let it set instead of wiping it off. I don't know why. So I just decided to turn them into lily pads. I used quite a few colors, similar color palette to how I painted the lily pads in my kitchen, which I did not show on here, but I might show it eventually. And I did manage to cover up the frogs quite well. In the final piece, you can't tell that there were lumpy frogs hidden underneath the lily pads. And I'm just layering a selection of colors. I used green, yellow, red, brown, orange, and blue for these. And I've never really done a lot of nail art, but it's really fun painting with UV nail polish. There's a lot more you can do with it than just nails. It's really buildable, blendable, and fun for 3D objects. I've been doing that a lot recently and made some things that I'd never attempted to make, even Builder Gel. I made my first set of nails with Builder Gel recently and made some adorable frog nails, as I said in a different video. That was the first time I ever really was like creative with nail polish and stuff. And it was so fun and a lot easier than I thought it would be. So if you have UV nail polish, but you don't really do your fingernails, I'd recommend trying some other stuff with it. I've been playing around with it recently and managed to create some really tiny, detailed 3D orchids and a nepenthes plant, which I'll show in another video. but they came out quite amazing. Anyway, so I put the two-part resin on here, which takes 24 hours to set. I put it in a tub so dust wouldn't land on it, and this is how it came out. Oh, I also used some scrap velvet that I had to line it, and here it is. It does look a little bit greasy because I took a little while to take the final clip and I was making some moisturizer and I guess my hands were really greasy when I was touching it. I should have wiped it down. But you can see what it looks like. Anyway, let me know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a lot of me yapping, a little bit of dust in there. I've been having some fires in my log burner and dust gets everywhere when I do that. I also did a kind of marbled thing on the inside of the lid, which went a little bit wrinkly. Um, but yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. If you enjoyed my video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to see me paint or make or anything like that. I will be going away soon, so my art supplies will be limited, but I'll still be making art because it makes me happy.